primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream again for the second time today. We are going to be working on some reagents because I think that would be fun. So we'll go ahead and do that and just add a couple of new reagents, see how that goes. I think it'll be fine, but we'll see. So yeah, before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. You could check out the Steam page, it's linked in the description below. Alchemortis is a dark fantasy inventory management auto battler where you can use alchemy to mutate cards and create your own synergies. And you could also support me on Patreon. If you subscribe for at least 1 month at this top tier here, I will send you an Alchemortis Steam key, so you'll get a copy of Alchemortis when the game launches, and I'll also put your name in the in-game Alchemortis credits. And you could also check out my courses if you want to learn how to build games in the Godot engine. This is a great resource for you, and it's also a great way to support me. But of course, you could also join the Discord, and what else? You could join the Discord, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, all of that good stuff. All right. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Hello, Kenyaz, welcome back. Good to see you. Hello, Chris. Welcome back. Clickertail, good to see you. Good to see you. Emerson, welcome back to you as well. Evening stream. Hello, Jahar. Good to see you all. Alrighty, so we've got a number of reagents that are listed here. So let me go ahead and open this up. So there's a bunch of reagent effects here that I want to add, but we're also going to need to do some art for these things. Let's see. I want to do this one. Strip legendary card of legendary status. I think that would be good. Exclude abilities of type fire poison. Yes, that would be good as well. Removes negative abilities from inputs. Those two would be good. Strip legendary card of legendary status and removes negative abilities from outputs. So now we need a theme for this. Yeah, okay, all right. So I want to do this one. Strip legendary card of legendary status. I think, so I think that will be simple enough, but the problem here is that I don't know what art to do for it. So maybe we'll start with the implementation first. We'll start with the implementation and then we'll do the art. What is, hold on a second, I've got Alkahest. Alkahest, oh, it gives me a video game result. Let's see. Alchemy, Alkahest is a theorized universal solvent. So I could use this. Theorized universal solvent, dissolving any composite substance including gold. Gold was not considered an element. How dumb do you have to be to not consider gold an element? Without altering or destroying its fundamental components. Interesting. The recipe for the theorized alkahest was often kept secret. It's the ultimate secret. Many alchemists attempting to attain the universal solvent, thus many recipes, some later rejected by the creators. Caustic lime alcohol and carbonate of potash. Okay, interesting. So I guess since this is a mythical thing, I can basically just draw whatever I want. So maybe we will do that. What size should the card be? What size should the card be? Well, let's go ahead and create that, and we'll use that to strip the legendary status from things. So I'm going to go to my card creation tool. Alcahest. Could do 1 by 1, 1 by 2. Maybe we'll do like a 1 by 2. 2 by 1 maybe, or 2 by 2. I'm thinking I might make it like a fancy vial with some mystery liquid in it. Although, wait a minute. Never mind. Okay, Alcahest. Let's try it this way first, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm not going to do the art just yet. Let's do 1 by 2 as the dimensions. This is a alchemical reagent. Son of a bee. Yes, welcome, Neozoid. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So now we got to figure out how to get this to actually work with the alchemy system. I think what I've been doing for the alchemy is I create new composed abilities for that, like specific typed abilities. So let's see. Compose, let's do new file, alchemy strip legendary .cs. Let's just copy this. Is alchemizable, is copyable. We can get rid of this. Alchemy strip legendary. Back to type. Why is this targeted? This doesn't need to be here. Okay. Alchemy strip legendary. Strips legendary status from a card when used in alchemy. We don't need this scale for tier. Do I need to override that? I do, because it's abstract, so we just won't do anything. We don't need this. Okay, so that's basically it. We're not really putting any functionality in these abilities just yet. So now with this Alcahest, what I just do here is I do add new composed ability. This would be a new strip legendary, alchemy strip legendary. Okay. And then what we need to do is we need to go to the alchemy manager. Hey, cat, stop. The cat is destroying something that he shouldn't be destroying. Can you stop? Every time I start streaming, you were like active. Go sleep. Go sleep. This is kind of annoying. Every time I start streaming, it's like, oh, pay attention to me now. Goodness. Go to sleep. So we need to go to the alchemy manager. And what? So maybe, do I want to validate this? Let's see. Yeah, where's my validation? Validation error. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do this instead. Var has strip legendary is equal to input cards dot any, get base composed abilities of type dot any. If has legendary input and not has strip legendary. And we'll just do this. Okay. if has legendary input and has strip legendary and input cards dot length dot count is greater than 2, validation error is equal to we'll just do alkahest can only works with one okay, if it has legendary input and has strip legendary and input cards that count is greater than 2. The other situation here is if we have a non-legendary card. Has strip legendary and or this would be not has strip legendary and has legendary input. Wait a minute. Or has legendary input, has strip legendary input cards that count greater than 2. So I actually think this needs to be here for both. If input cards that count is greater than 2, is that right? So if we've got... No, that's not right. I need to come up with a better system for validating these alchemy inputs. But so if we've got a legendary input and we've got the alkahest in there and our input cards are greater than 2, it will throw an error. Otherwise, if we have the legendary card but we don't have a legendary input, alkahest can only be used with one legendary card. And then the other situation... Do I need to do a check for here? Has strip legendary. I think that covers everything. Maybe I don't need a third case here. Yeah, maybe that covers everything. We'll give it a shot. Populate player cards. Card.set is legendary. And then also, what else? I need to add the alkahest to my test player cards. And then what else? I actually need to make it function, but that's all right. Lurking Neozoid. Have you ever tried standing up boilerplate code with a bash script or something before with Godot? Something I do a lot for work with storybook tests, etc. Honestly, if I ever need a boilerplate code, I'd probably just have the AI do the boilerplate, if that's something the AI would be good at. But yeah, I mean, I have a script, like my card creation tool is basically like a script that sets everything up for me with all the boilerplate. So I've definitely done that. I don't use a bash script. I actually just use the Godot script to do so. Because, you know, a script is just a file, so you can read and write text. Not sure how friendly is Godot with the resource linking, etc. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do. Should be all right. They cut your own lineup if I can finally be productive. Hello, December A. What did I miss? Are there new reagents already? We're adding one, so you haven't missed any new reagents. I'm just adding one right now. Oh my gosh, my friend wants to play Arc Raiders. All right, I'm gonna have to abandon all you guys. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna stay here. I'm giving up Arc Raiders for you guys. It's 1 a.m. here. Last late stream, I fell asleep. Well, if you do fall asleep, good night. Lots of evening streams recently. Man must be on his grind. Yeah, I think, part of the problem is the holiday season is over. So, you know, all my friends are working, which means I have fewer excuses to play video games. But also, I got through a bunch of, like, design... Well, I wouldn't say I got through them, but I've made progress on resolving a bunch of design issues that I had with the game, which were really the things that were kind of stumping me and slowing down progress, because I didn't really want to work on anything else until I had those figured out. But now that I've figured out largely what to do about those things, at least for now, we're back in sort of like smooth sailing territory where working on the things that need to be worked on is relatively easy and straightforward. So there's those lulls that come and go. And streaming is fun, you know. It's also, you know, streaming is also a way to get the word out about the game. It's not a super effective way of doing it, but it does help. Every little bit helps. And yeah, I just like hanging out with all of you and getting your thoughts and hearing what you have to think about things that I'm implementing. I should start a late stream myself. Done nothing productive all day and it bugs me out. Yeah, I understand that. Hello, Zachary. Hello. I was like, is that my phone going off? I was expecting a phone call. I'm dealing with a certain government agency right now. And as most government agencies, they are impossible to get a hold of. So I was naively expecting to receive a call back, but did not get one. So the phone is going back on silent. All right, anyway. Card set is legendary. So we're setting these cards as legendary. So now we actually need to make this strip the legendary status. So we don't want to apply any randomization if this happens. So what we want to do instead, get randomized output. Do I want to do this here? Get randomized output. I may need a new approach for this. Yeah, I don't want this to be randomized when I strip the legendary from it, so actually going down this code path here is probably not good. Do I have a way of duplicating the base card? Shallow duplicate? What am I missing here? I don't think I'm using this anywhere, am I? Okay. So we're setting the tier. Set is alchemy, set is legendary. Base turn cooldown, base critical chance, base critical multiplier. Non-alchemized abilities, preserved abilities, positive abilities, negative abilities, reagent added abilities, enchants, and random negative ability. So I think this should be good. I don't want to go down this path, this get randomized output path for this. I mean, the simple thing to do is just to go if has strip legendary. Does this validate happen? Oh, this is a mess. I'm going to need to probably clean this up. Problem with the reagent system is I don't know everything that I'm going to want to support, and so it's just kind of like a hodgepodge in here. Up here, if it has strip legendary, then we're going to do is non-reagent input cards 0 dot shallow duplicate var stripped card is equal to that. Stripped card dot set is legendary to false. Oh. Okay. Made legendary, so I'm going to need to undo this as well. Delegate void legendary removed event handler. I'm going to rename this legendary added event handler. Emit signal legendary added. Okay, so I'll go here. Result.add stripped card, return result. Oh, I'm also going to need to... No, that's fine. So that should be fine for now. It's not the cleanest thing to do, but that's all right. That's not the cleanest thing to do, but that's all right. So I'm going to need to fix that issue. Update always locks legendary particles dot emitting. Equals false. Update render mode. Oh, but the problem is just going to print something in here. gd.print. Yeah, this might be a problem. Shoot, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Updating all these visuals. Anyway, I guess we'll just go ahead and try it. If you would expect set to set a legendary based on parameter, love the chaotic naming. Yeah, I'm probably just going to rename that. Oh, this is a legendary card too. Oops. Add at least 2 cards to the pot. Now what's interesting is that this should retain all of its abilities when you strip that, but that seems to work. And it did not print that legendary removed, so that's good. So that shouldn't present an issue. So the abomination has been stripped of its legendary status, which means that you can use it, but we also have to test some other situations. So let me update this test here, because I don't want this to be legendary. If card.card definition resource.has flag.card.tags.has flag card tag.reagent will negate this. So we don't want to set the reagent to legendary, that's for sure. And there we go, game dev some more. Whoop whoop, yes indeed. Welcome Ninja Link, good to see you. While I'm thinking of it, let's change this. We're just going to call this make legendary instead. There we go, name fixed. Okay, I don't know why I'm going through this. So we can have the alchemy here. Alcahest strips legendary status from a card when used in alchemy. Add at least 2 cards to the pot. I need a non-legendary card as well. But that works. Let's add 2 Alcahests. We have a debugger error, which is not relevant to this case, so that's fine. Legendary cards are not alchemizable. That's not correct. Oh wait, yes it is. Alcahest can only be used with 1 legendary card. Okay, so I've got the Viper. Put the Viper back there. We'll put the Alcahest in there. Add at least 2 cards to the pot. Boom. Alcahest can only be used with 1 legendary card. There we go. Get rid of that. Put this over here. So that will strip the legendary status, and that's the only change that it makes. So it will preserve everything that made it legendary in the first place, like the legendary ability and everything. However, it becomes alchemizable now. Like you can further change it. Why would we want to strip legendary status or the limits to it? Yeah, so when a card is legendary, it becomes immutable. So you can't change anything about the card. You can't upgrade it. You can't add enchantments to it. You can't add enchantments to it. You can't use it in alchemy. So using the Alcahest to strip the legendary status means that you're basically just stripping that flag from the card, but the card preserves everything that it had when it was legendary. It's just no longer flagged as legendary, which means that you can then further alchemize it and upgrade it and stuff. Finally catch the second stream. Awesome. Hello, Bubblegum Lord. Welcome. Does it gain negative abilities afterwards? It will retain whatever negative abilities it had before, which if it's legendary means it will have none. So it won't have any negative abilities. Now, if you start alchemizing it again, it will accrue negative abilities, but yeah. So now we got to do the art for that. Let's see what we can do about that. Hopefully the art just flows. Hopefully it just flows through me. Okay, I was thinking about doing like a, let's see. Something like a tall bottle like this. Something like that, maybe. So in a sense, stripping a legendary from the card makes it so legendary that the game doesn't know what to call it. Yeah. Hello, Guy. Good evening to you as well. Also here developing my game. Awesome. Can you make it legendary again if it does even make sense to do so? Yeah, you can. There is a lead ingot which allows you to turn things legendary. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Don't know if this is going to turn out that great, but we will certainly try it. Maybe we will use a different color up here for like the stopper. That would probably be better. Yeah, that could work. I think it's decent. Yeah, I don't know if I could complain too much about that. I think that's probably all right. Maybe we'll put a couple of darker parts there. Yeah, I can't really complain about that. Is that a potion of milk? It could be. Potion of milkness. Nice warm bottle of Chateau Romani. Okay, you guys aren't taking this seriously. I'm gonna quit my game dev aspirations. Anyway, so there's our Alcahest. We can export that, and that should automatically update if I recall correctly. Okay, it did. It's not updating in the preview here, but it did. Cool, and we're gonna need the flavor text for that. Bam! Oh no, and it's not done. Add art for Alcahest. Okay. I guess we'll just see what that looks like in game for completeness, but we can move on to the next reagent. Where are you going, cat? Oh, stretch! Wow. That was cute. That was cute. You gonna go destroy something again? Are you gonna go destroy something again? Hmm? Who gave you access to YouTube emojis? Okay, so we've got Alcahest. Okay, that works. How you made that export auto update the resource? So what I do when I have a script that creates all of the necessary boilerplate for when I need to create a new card. And what it does is it just copies the card background texture and renames it to, like, for example, alcahest.png, and it assigns it to this art property inside of the card definition resource, which is what this is. And so all I need to do to overwrite that is just export a PNG with the same name. But the ASprite file is already named that way. So I just go ahead and export Alcahest export, and because it just overwrites the file that's already assigned there, it will update automatically. So everything's all wired and hooked up for me. All I gotta do is draw the art and export it, and it's done. And Godot will detect the change to that resource automatically and update it by itself, so I don't need to do anything there. Okay. Let's go ahead and do another alchemy. I've been wanting to do that one for a while, so that's good. Okay, removes negative abilities from inputs. That would be a good one. Preserves only poison abilities, preserves only heal abilities, preserves only damage abilities. It would be kind of nice to add an ability to an alchemy reagent that can only be gotten from the alchemy reagent. I think that would be really nice, actually. So there would be another way to get abilities on cards just from getting cards. Makes alchemy free. 0.5 crit mult. What do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to see? So here's all my alchemy reagent ideas. But if you have any ideas for what you want to see in a reagent, put it in the chat. Be quick before I decide what we're going to do. One thing that I am going to do is I'm going to want to echo. I want to see another adjacent cards get type of reagent. Sure, we could do both. One thing that I might need to do is, where is that loot table? Oh, I'm going to probably need to change this loot table weight. Still have to decide how I want to manage loot tables in this game for cards, but we will figure that out later, I suppose. Adjacent cards get echo. Yeah, we could do echo. That was a joke. No, I'm thinking we can do it. Adjacent cards get echo. I would say Swarm, but we all know how powerful that beast is. Yeah. What reagents are we thinking? Well, we're going to decide on the ability first, then we'll figure out like what the art should be. But yeah, adjacent cards, chance to add echo. Maybe not a chance, but maybe we'll just add it. Then I claim it as another one of my brilliant ideas. All right, sounds good, Wuius. Sounds good. Now I gotta figure out what it should be from an art standpoint. Thinking maybe we could do like a weird shape, like a L-shaped card. Maybe it could be a weird shape, or how about paralyzing enemy cards for X number of turns? Turn some of the enemy attacks into healing. Yeah, we could do that. I think I'm going to do Echo now, though. So let's do this. Let's do card creation tool. We're going to do... maybe something like this. Oh, that doesn't help. Something like that size, and then... what do we want to do for the art? So if it's going to add echo, I'm always for weird shapes, Z, big L, big T, U, and so on. Yeah, we do have a T shape here as well. A horn. A bat's vocal cord. Interesting. The weird whistle thingies tribes use in South America. What am I going to call this? Shoot. The problem is, once I give it a name, all the files get set up with that name, and so if I don't have a name right now, I can't just go ahead and work. I mean, I could, but then I'd have to rename everything. That would be annoying. A bat's vocal cords. That's an interesting one. Bats use echolocation, yeah. Tuning fork. I'm trying to think of like I can always make stuff up too. Like I can use mythological creatures. Like I could say like, what is it called? Like I could do something like Chimera Offal, right? So like the guts of a chimera, and I could just draw a bunch of like random organs, but because it's called Chimera Offal, it kind of lends itself to like this, ooh, it's like this special alchemical ingredient, right? So I can always make stuff up. I can make up like artifacts. I can make up creatures. I have a lot of room to do this. So it's a very, very wide open creative exercise. If I have a game with local multiplayer, would it need a lot of work to make it online multiplayer also? Want to buy your multiplayer in Godot course, but wanted to know would it work to my game? Yeah, unfortunately, the thing about multiplayer is it's basically like very, 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 very hard to add multiplayer to a game that wasn't made with it in mind. It's much harder to do that than to build your game with multiplayer from the start. Now that said, I made a game for a game jam called Globins, and it took me like a week of effort to refactor everything so that it works as an online multiplayer game. So it's definitely possible, and it depends on the scope of your game for sure. So if your game is a small local multiplayer game, it probably wouldn't be a whole lot of effort, but it's certainly going to be harder than if you had just built the game with multiplayer in mind from the start. Jaw harp. Oh, that's an interesting one. What's the name of the program or plugin to track your tasks? Obsidian with the Kanban plugin. The Grand Canyon. Banshee something? Oh, Banshee. Yeah. That's a good one. Banshee what? Banshee... It's a party game like Overcooked. Yeah, I mean, it'll depend. It'll depend on how complex your game is currently. You're welcome, John Abul. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Banshee's mirror. I'm thinking like Banshee's like shackles or something. Like, I don't know if you like, typically Banshees have like wrist irons, right? Or like a Banshee's veil or something like that, or like a Banshee's essence of Banshee. Banshee scream like a captured scream itself. Have to look on that. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, for sure. Scream in a jar like cartoons. Bull roarer. We could do like a Banshee's head, maybe. Let's try it. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it. Let's do a Banshee head. Banshee lungs. Lungs are probably more appropriate. Oh, this is gonna stretch my capabilities though. Let's try this first. Head is good too. I'm thinking the head could be on a pike. So like the pike is coming up from the bottom here, and then have the head here, and then have like the hair just like flowing this way to fill the space. So this is a 2x2 card with the 0-1 cell missing. How do I let game design itself? That's a good question. I recommend asking ChatGPT to make your entire game for you, and that you will have a great result. You'll have a great result. Okay, well, let's get the code working first. Alchemy. Alchemy added ability. Okay. How do I make this target only adjacent? I'm trying to figure out. Here. Get preserved abilities. Okay, so alchemy added ability. Gosh. I might need to make some changes to this here. So this would be simple. I would just do Banshee Head, new alchemy added ability, ability builder.echo. And that would basically be it. And then I will go to my run manager here, remove this. So that's simple enough. The problem is that alchemy added ability does not have the ability to change the query option. So if I want this to only be for like adjacent cards, I would need to change that. So if I put this in here and I put that there, I should get echo. Yeah, I've got echo on the abomination there. So we've got that going. And then, so yeah, if I want to make this only apply to adjacent cards, how would I do that? Reagent added abilities. So I don't really have, What was the one I was looking at that used adjacent alchemy critical chance? Get preserved abilities. How is this working? Oh, it's a non-combat ability. Oh, I see. Select many where Y is X alchemizable. Okay, I think what I need to do here, let me try this. This is an I non-combat ability. Public, do I need to execute this? Hold on a second. We add the query target provider here. Read only. Query target provider, query target provider. Okay, board inventory component, query directions. This is none by default, so we'll make this entire board by default. We'll get rid of this custom filter. Let's do this. Action, query target provider, configure. Query is equal to null. Then we'll do configure query here. Invoke query target provider. We'll add that as an ability. This get added ability is probably going to need to go away. Reagent added abilities. Yeah. I'm going to need to redo this. Because right now this is just logging all of the abilities that get added, but now that I have it only being added to certain cards, I'm going to need to make a note of that. Shoot. Okay. Well, let's just do public base card get targeted cards, get target cards, return query target provider, get cached targets. So we're probably going to need to change this reagent added abilities to a card to new ability count. What is this? Oh, I am passing in the base card now. Okay, that makes it easy, actually. So what we'll do is we'll do dictionary base card list, reagent added abilities. Var reagent abilities from reagent is equal to reagent added abilities. No. Reagent added abilities that try get value. Input card out var reagent abilities from reagents. We'll just do that. Okay, and then down here, oh boy, get base composability of type. Might need to do this in a more traditional for loop. For each var target card and reagent added ability, get target cards. If not, reagent add. Let's do this. Let's change that. Value.add reagent added ability, get added ability. I think that's right. Okay. So we get rid of that. Is that it? I want to try and make sure that this works first. So I'm going to do project settings. Let's add gold. Oops. What did I call this? Skull Tower. So Skull Tower here. And then what is the one that preserves? Shielding. It's not dragon scales, is it? Well, that'll work. Let's just see if that minimal change works here. And then if it does, we can add the query stuff to the Banshee. And there's no room for the dragon skills, of course, of course. We don't need the Viper or the Cultist anymore. Dang it. Banshee Cake Pop. Have you considered enforcing reagents to be placed on the edge of the board in order for it to work? Could be interesting to limit the capabilities of some of the stronger ones that may yet come. I can definitely do that, yeah. I can definitely do that. That is an option available to me. It's time for game to once again. Yes, indeed. Welcome, Jackie Daytona. Okay, so if I do this with the gold and with this, it didn't add it to the gold. I feel like that didn't work the way it was supposed to. What? Something is going wrong. Something is going very wrong. Well, I can evaluate this and see if that's actually working the way that it should be. Let's see. It's targeting gold and it's targeting the skull tower. It should be targeting the skull tower. Yeah, it is. Okay. Uh-oh, which one was it? This one. We'll close this one. Okay. Ugh. That's not working at all. Well, let's check the result. Let's see just what's inside of reagent added ability here. I think this data structure is correct. I don't know, it must be going wrong somewhere else, but this is annoying. I think this is right. Oof. All right, let's just put a breakpoint up here then. Here. So abilities from reagents contains 1. That's correct. That contains a null. Something's wrong. Now I'm wondering, was it working before? Maybe there's a fundamental problem in here somewhere. Let me just take another look at it here. So it makes sense that it's not working with the gold. I think that's a separate problem. It's not accounting for the transmuted cards. So I think I can fix that. But as far as why is this not preserving? Positive abilities to add is 0. Why is that 0? Abilities to take is 0. Why is that 0? Card to new ability count 2. Abilities to take minus preserved abilities dot count minus reagent added ability. Oh. That's where it's going wrong. Well, I can move this up here. Reagent added abilities, abilities from reagents is equal to that. This is abilities from reagents dot count, and then I'll move this down here. Let's get rid of this window. This down here needs to be abilities from reagents. Okay, that should fix it. I changed it to a dictionary which contains all of the reagents that should be added to all of the abilities, or all of the cards, and so that count was much higher than it should have been. So now if I do this, maybe this will work. Put this in there. It did not work, but it worked in this case. Converts all preserve applied to fire. So it worked in that case. It's not working against the, it's not working against the gold, but I think that's a separate issue. But let's see if the Banshee head works as well. So this should only affect adjacent cards. So if I put the gold here, well, the gold doesn't work anyway, so never mind. I need like a 1x1 card that I can check against. Let's do a Spiderling. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe adjacency doesn't make sense for the Banshee head here because it's relatively large, but that's all right. Spiderling there. So it should only apply Echo to the axe and the Skull Tower, and the Spiderling should remain without Echo. And the Spiderling has Echo, imagine that. Oh, I forgot to configure it, that's why. I forgot to configure it. So let's do that. Goodness gracious. Query options dot query directions is equal to adjacent. And I'm also probably going to want to modify this. Add the to query string in there. Banshee's Rotting Finger. Sneaky Rat, yeah. Any games you guys are into lately? Currently playing Bollocks Pit and Ghost of Yotei when I can. Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders. But I guess I gotta look at Bollocks Pit because everyone's talking about it. Echo, Echo, and no Echo. Very cool. So that is indeed working. I forgot to look at the description of the Banshee though. Let's see. Adds the following ability as a guaranteed output to allied cards. Converts, preserve. Okay, yeah, that works. Cool. All right. So that's good. Now we just have to figure out what the heck is happening with the gold, and we also need to draw the Banshee art. Maybe I will just write this as a bug in here. alchemy added abilities are not properly applying to transmuted gold alchemy inputs. So I'll write that as a bug so we can get working on this Banshee here. The Banshee head card. Banshee head here. Create a new layer, load the default palette. All right, let's see what happens. So I'm gonna start with, let's see, I'll start with this. Okay, so we got like a head, we can do some, I'm just gonna block this out to start. Okay, something like that. Of course, the hair is going to need to cover this part as well. Okay, I might bring this in a little bit. Okay. Now we got to figure out what to do about this face here. That might work. Probably needs to be darker though. Okay. I think maybe we're getting there. This is gonna be too far up if I do this. We do need room for like a nose as well, which is gonna be, oh, this is gonna be difficult. Oh, this is gonna be difficult. Ah. Been playing Dexterous Time to Steal. Aside from the 2 characters in the game, Bollock's Pit is absolutely addicting. Could stretch the face mouse to take up the bottom area. Well, I'm gonna do like a pike here. That's what I wanted to do anyway, but maybe that won't be feasible. Let's start with the other details first. Yeah, it's just not going to work. I guess we just won't do a nose. Kind of like this because it makes it look like high cheekbones. But the eyes, I just can't get the eyes working. I'm very, very, very bad at drawing faces. There we go. Those eyes are good. Maybe I'm getting closer. I mean, maybe that looks grotesque enough. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Let's do a pike. Gotta always do a pike, you know? Oh, you know what? Do I have room to move this down? Maybe not, but I could maybe do... I don't know how I'm gonna make this work, but I was thinking... Well, this is not turning out that great, to be honest, but that's okay. We will keep forging ahead. No pun intended. Let's just do the basic shading first. I guess it's okay. It's okay. It's not my finest work, but we will continue on. We will continue on. Okay. Guess there didn't need to be that break there. There's just a little bit too much. Oops. Oh, did I do this all in the wrong layer? Oops, my bad. We'll do this here. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, I think the face is just awful, but I'll have to take a different, another look at that later. Okay, this is awful. Banshee head. Flavor text. Fix awful face. I will get good at drawing faces eventually, but today is not that day, I suppose. I think it turned out okay otherwise. I think your forehead is too small. Maybe put eyes further down. The Forbidden Banshee Hobby Horse. Just a happy little pike over here, yeah. Just a happy little pike. Okay, well, we'll just... That's fine for now. I'm probably going to revisit this. Okay. Well, we'll just keep that. Merge this down. Okay, we'll export that. We'll see how it looks in game. Let's see how it looks in game. Oh. So it looks like large when I'm working on it in A-Sprite, but this is the size of it in game relative to everything else. So I don't have a whole lot of room to draw ahead, but that should be fine for now. So we got the ability working. That's the most important part. I have another bug to resolve. But we will resolve that later as well. Okay, that's going to be it for the stream for now. A little bit shorter of a stream, but it is the bonus stream, so I hope you enjoyed creating those 2 new reagents with me. I'll be thinking on how to fix this face a little bit. I think I need to go... I'm really bad at drawing faces generally, so I think I need to actually study up on that and watch some YouTube tutorials on it or whatever, but... Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here as always. And of course, I always appreciate your support. Every little bit of support helps. Liking this video, subscribing to this channel, wishlisting, Alka Mortis, all of those things are free ways that you can support me. But if you're interested in going beyond, you can support me on Patreon. You can purchase one of my courses. All that good stuff helps out a lot. And of course, join the Discord. We have a good community there, so I hope to see you there. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, so I hope to see you there. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.